Hello, my people. Welcome to lesson 1.5, finding similarities with our mystery fossil. So let's dive right in. Let's go to our warm up. Now, for our warm up here, we have a message from Andre Mosley, the Natural History Museum director. So this is the director of the museum. We finished putting the bones of the mystery fossil back together and we found something amazing. The mystery fossil was pregnant when it died. A smaller fossil with structures just like the mystery fossil was found inside the body of the mystery fossil. I know you are working to decide where to place the fossil in the museum and that you are using similar structures to help you decide where to place it. Maybe the fossil we found inside can help you decide what the mystery fossil is most similar to: whales, wolves, or crocodiles. So, that is some fascinating information. Uh, our fossil was pregnant. So, we had three areas that we wanted to put these into: maybe the crocodile, the wolves, or the whales. So, we need a little background information about whales, wolves, and crocodiles. Whales and wolves are considered warm blooded, they're considered mammals, which means they do carry children in their tummies, in the womb of their females. Crocodiles, do you know how crocodiles carry their babies? I'll give you a hint. They lay eggs. So, put some of your thinking down here and let's move on. Make sure you push that hand in button. Okay, so for part two, uh, these are our three claims, right? So hopefully this new bit of information has helped us eliminate at least one of the claims, right? So crocodiles and reptiles in particular, they actually carry their offspring with eggs. So as we get this new information, we can eliminate claim three. Let's dive into part three. So for this one, we're going to go back to this mystery fossil. And yes, there was a little baby in there. But what we're going to do is we're going to compare it to some other fossils, and we're going to select all the features that they have in common. So here's one fossil we're going to compare it to. Here's another fossil we're going to compare it to. Okay, so let's go back up here. Let's take it one step at a time. Let's select all of the structures that we see. Do we see a skull? Yes, we've got a skull. We've got teeth. We've got neck bones. We've got one, two, many front limb structures. So is there some sort of front limb structure here? I would say so. Rib bones and a backbone. So we've got our ribs and our backbone here. We've got our pelvis, back limbs. What else? Ooh, and a tail. Okay, so we've gone through and we've selected all of the features that the mystery fossil has. Now we're going to go through and compare it to this whale skeleton here. So we're going to go through. Whale has a skull, teeth, neck bones. It's got front limb structure. It's got rib bones. It's got a backbone going along the top there. It too has a pelvis and hip bone, but what about back legs? This is a pelvis, but it doesn't have any back legs. So we're not going to select that one. We will select the tail. Okay, so now we're going to compare it to a wolf. If you were in class with me, you got to see a wolf skull in person. So select the structures that the wolf has: skull, teeth, neck bones, front limbs, rib bones, backbone, hip bone, backbone, or back leg, limb legs, and a tail. It's got all of those things. So just to reflect, which bones, um, which bone structure are you thinking our mystery fossil most closely resembles? So we have got a whale, and it has all the same things except for back legs. And then we've got our wolf that has all the same structures. Okay, so let's push this hand in button, and let's go to the next one. All right, peeps. For this one, I want you to be patient when you click this little button to load your modeling tool, because it might take a moment for it to load. Now, your instructions are all here. They're also posted along with the modeling tool. So if you click this little link, your modeling tool will open up, and it should look something like this. And here's your instructions. You can just click right here, and they'll pop up. So your overall goal is to determine the relationships between the three species in this activity. So press each structure of species A. Use a blue structure to indicate that species A has that structure. Use an X to indicate that species A doesn't have that structure. And use a gray structure with a question mark to indicate that you don't know whether species A has that structure or not. Okay, so let's break this down. So we're only clicking over here on the species A card, and let's just start with the tail. So it wants us to put an X if these species don't share it. It wants us to put that in blue if it does, and if we don't know, we put a question mark. Well, it looks like both species B and C have a tail there, so we're going to select this blue one. And then this one would be a spine or backbone, or the best way to label it would be a vertebral column. So both of these have that, so we would put that one as blue. Now hind legs. Now hind legs, if we look, even species B does have some hind legs, just little tiny ones, right? But that is a qualifying factor that it has those appendages, even though species B is much smaller than species C. So we would make that one blue as well. Let's do the skull next. So both of these, even though they are skulls, actually their skulls look almost identical. So definitely blue there. Now what about front, this front leg? This one's saying, not so much. So for this one, nope, I clicked the wrong one, my bad. We're going to put it as an X. Oops, how is this happening? Is that, there we go. No, I clicked the wrong one again. Sorry, friends. Yep. So this is what it should look like, and let's just check our work. Let's check it with the answer key here. Yep. So this is what it should look like when it's all said and done, except we did skip one part. If we go back to our instructions, notice the last thing says press indicate organism type and select an option for each species. So we do need to go back and make sure that we click this little blue box. And in this one, we would say that this is a common ancestor population. And then we would say that this is a descendant and this is a descendant. So what we have here is we have our common ancestor population, and they share the same traits with species B and C here. But these descendant populations can vary. Notice species B does not have the front limbs, just as species A does, but species C has somehow picked those up through the evolutionary pressures. So friends, when you are done with this, make sure you push this little hand in button in the upper left hand corner. And then for the homework section, because we're going to be taking a quiz, we're going to skip this part. And we'll use the quiz for our self-assessment. So friends, you are officially done with lesson 1.5. Thank you for joining me. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to